The knife that kills you is never the one you see coming. It's not in the hand of the enemy screaming at your gates. It's in the sleeve of the person pouring your wine, sitting at your table, laughing at your jokes. We are biologically wired to fear the predator in the bushes, the stranger in the dark. But Niccolò Machiavelli, the man who understood the brutal mechanics of power better than anyone in history, knew the truth. The stranger can't hurt you. Because you don't let the stranger in. You build walls against enemies. You lock doors against thieves. But for friends, you open the gate. You lower the bridge. You expose the soft underbelly of your mind. And that is why betrayal, when it comes, is never a battle. It is an execution. Most people wait until the blood is already spilling to realize they were sleeping next to a snake. They wait for the catastrophe. But Machiavelli warned us, he who deceives will always find those who allow themselves to be deceived. You are being watched. Your kindness is being measured. Your trust is being weighed against a market value. And if you don't learn to see the eyes behind the smile, you are already a casualty. Today, we are not talking about toxic relationships. We are not talking about setting boundaries. Those are modern words for weak people. We are talking about survival. We are going to perform a psychological autopsy on the fake friend. We will dissect the anatomy of betrayal before it happens. We will look at the Machiavellian markers, the subtle microscopic signals that reveal a person's true intent long before they make their move. You will learn the 3 archetypes of the hidden enemy. You will learn the pressure test, a method to break their mask without saying a word. And you will learn how to neutralize them, not by fighting, but by becoming a mirror they cannot bear to look into. But be warned, this requires you to kill a part of yourself. You have to kill the part of you that wants to be liked, the part that believes everyone has a good heart. Machiavelli wrote, "A man who wishes to make a profession of goodness in everything must necessarily come to grief among so many who are not good. If you want to survive the wolves, you cannot be a sheep. You must become something else, something colder, something capable of seeing the world not as you wish it were, but exactly as it is. Are you ready to see the truth? Because once you see it, you can never go back to the illusion." Why do they do it? Why does the friend you helped get a job try to get you fired? Why does the person you comforted through a breakup smile when your marriage fails? You ask yourself, what did I do wrong? And that is your first mistake. You view the world through the lens of morality. You think in terms of right and wrong, loyalty and gratitude. The Machiavellian views the world through the lens of necessity, physics, cause and effect. Machiavelli stated plainly, "Men are ungrateful, fickle, pretenders and dissemblers, shunning danger and greedy for gain." He didn't say some men. He didn't say bad men. He said men, human nature. The fake friend does not betray you because they hate you. They betray you because you are in the way, or because you are useful fuel for their own ascent. It is not personal. It is arithmetic. Understand the concept of the zero-sum ego. For many people, your success feels like their failure. When you rise, they feel smaller. It's a psychological law. If you and I are on the same level, we are equals. We are safe. But if you take a step up, you get the promotion, the money, the recognition. The gap between us widens. That gap creates anxiety. It creates envy. And envy is the most dangerous emotion in the human spectrum because it is silent. Anger screams. Envy whispers. Machiavelli observed that men are so simple and so much inclined to obey immediate needs that a deceiver will never lack victims. The fake friend obeys their immediate need, the need to feel superior, the need to regain control. They will praise you in public, but their eyes don't smile. They will offer help, but only the kind that makes you dependent on them. They are not your allies. They are parasites waiting for the host to weaken. Think of the Medici family in Renaissance Florence. They were surrounded by friends, allies, partners, the Pazzi family. They dined together. They did business together until Easter Sunday, 1478. During High Mass in the cathedral, the Pazzi attacked the Medici brothers while they were kneeling in prayer. Why there? Why then? Because it was the moment they were most vulnerable, the moment their guard was down. That is the nature of the fake friend. They don't attack your armor, they wait for you to kneel. So how do we spot the Pazzi in your circle before the knife comes out? We look for the glitches in the matrix. We look for the 3 specific archetypes that Machiavelli would have spotted from across the room. You cannot fight what you cannot name. The fake friend is not a monolith. They come in different skins, different flavors of poison. If you categorize them, you neutralize them. Archetype 1, the sycophant, the flatterer. Machiavelli hated flatterers. He dedicated an entire chapter of The Prince to avoiding them. He knew that courts are full of flatterers, and men take such pleasure in their own affairs that it is difficult to defend oneself from this plague. The sycophant is the one who agrees with everything you say. They laugh too hard. They nod too fast. You're so right. They don't appreciate you. You're the smartest person in the room. This feels good. It feels like support. It is a trap. A true friend will challenge you. A true ally will tell you when you have spinach in your teeth or when your idea is garbage, because they care about your survival more than your ego. The sycophant feeds your ego to blind your judgment. Why? Because as long as you are drunk on their praise, you are pliable. You are easy to manipulate. They are buying shares in your vanity. Watch the person who never disagrees. Watch the person who praises you for things you haven't earned. They are hiding a dagger wrapped in velvet. As soon as you lose your status, the sycophant will be the first to leave, because they weren't loyal to you. They were loyal to your crown. Archetype 2, the crisis architect. This one is subtler. This is the friend who is always in chaos, always a victim, always a tragedy. And you are the savior. You listen to their drama for hours. You loan them money. You fix their messes. It feels like a deep bond. We've been through so much together. No, you have been used. This is what Robert Greene, a modern student of Machiavelli, calls the infector. They are drowning, and they grab onto you not to be saved, but to pull you down so they have something to stand on. But here is the dark test. What happens when you have a crisis? What happens when you need them? Suddenly, they are busy. Suddenly, their phone is off. Or worse, they listen for 2 minutes and then immediately pivot the conversation back to themselves. Oh, that sounds terrible. It reminds me of the time They cannot hold space for your pain because your pain does not serve them. Machiavelli would say, distance yourself from the unlucky. Not because you are cruel, but because their bad luck is often a contagious form of stupidity and self-sabotage. The crisis architect drains your resources, your time, your emotional energy, your focus. And in the game of power, energy is currency. If they are spending yours, they are stealing from you. Archetype 3, the subtle saboteur, the whisperer. This is the most dangerous of all. This is the Brutus. They are smart. They are capable. They are often your peer or competitor. They don't attack you openly. They use plausible deniability. They use the backhanded compliment. You did great on that presentation. I'm surprised you pulled it off considering how tired you looked. Did you catch it? They praised the result, but planted a seed that you looked weak. They reveal your secrets disguised as concern. I'm really worried about John. He's been drinking a lot lately. They aren't worried. They are broadcasting your weakness to the tribe. They are shaping the narrative that you are unstable. Machiavelli knew that reputation is everything. The saboteur chips away at your reputation like a sculptor, one small comment at a time, one raised eyebrow when your name is mentioned. They are conditioning the world to view you as lesser, and they do it with a smile on their face. If you confront them, they gaslight you. You're being sensitive. I was just joking. I'm on your side. This is the fog of war. and you must clear it. So you have identified a potential threat. You suspect the flatterer. You are tired of the crisis addict. You feel the sting of the saboteur. What do? Do you confront them? Do you scream? No. Machiavelli never acts on emotion. He acts on intelligence. You need proof. You need to see the mechanism of their mind. You need to run a simulation. Here are 3 psychological stress tests to expose the fake friend without them ever knowing they are being tested. Test 1. The good news trap. Most people think you test friends with your pain. Who is there for me when I'm down? Wrong. Anyone can be there when you're down. Seeing you miserable makes them feel better about their own miserable lives. It feeds their superiority. Pity is easy. If you want to see the face of the devil, tell them your greatest victory. Tell them you got the promotion. Tell them you met the love of your life. Tell them you just made a massive profit. And then watch their eyes. For a microsecond, less than a second, the mask will slip. You will see a flash of coldness, a tightening of the lips, a deadness in the eyes. Then the mask returns. Oh my God, that's amazing. But the energy is off. The tone is high-pitched, forced. They might quickly ask a question that minimizes the win. That's great, but are you ready for the extra taxes? Wow, I hope he's not like your ex. They puncture the balloon. Oscar Wilde said, "Anybody can sympathize with the sufferings of a friend, but it requires a very fine nature to sympathize with a friend's success. If they cannot celebrate your win without a caveat, without a shadow, they are an enemy." Machiavelli would note this. He wouldn't say a word. He would just move them from the column of ally to the column of threat. Test 2, the information diet, the starvation test. Fake friends traffic in information. Gossip is their currency. Knowing your business gives them leverage. Stop feeding them. Go dark. Be polite. Be present, but be vague. How's work? It's work, fine. How's the relationship? Steady. What are you planning next? Not sure yet, still thinking. Watch their reaction to your silence. A real friend respects your privacy. They are comfortable with the silence. A fake friend gets agitated. They feel the loss of control. They will pry. They will push. They will try to provoke you to speak. You're being weird. Don't you trust me? They might even offer a fake secret of their own to trigger reciprocity. I'll tell you mine if you tell me yours. This is a transaction. They are trying to buy your vulnerability. If they get angry when you become private, it is because they were harvesting you, and you just cut off the supply. Test 3. The no audit. This is the simplest and most brutal test. Say no to a small request. Something reasonable. They ask for a favor. They ask for your time. They ask for a loan. Decline politely. I can't do that right now. I'm not available. Watch the shift. A friend accepts boundaries. A parasite reacts to no as if it were an attack. They will try to make you feel guilty. After all I've done for you, I thought we were friends. This is emotional blackmail. Machiavelli knew that relationships based on utility crumble the moment the utility ends. If the relationship cannot survive a no, it wasn't a relationship. It was a usage agreement, and you just breached the contract. You have run the tests. The results are in. The person you thought was loyal is a fraud. This hurts. It triggers a primal wound, the fear of abandonment, the pain of rejection. You will be tempted to make excuses for them. Maybe they're just stressed. Maybe I'm imagining it. This is your weakness talking. This is the denial that leads to ruin. Machiavelli demands that you look at reality with cold, unblinking eyes. It is necessary to be a fox to discover the snares and a lion to terrify the wolves. You have been the sheep blindly grazing. Now you must be the fox. You must accept that this person does not love you. They love what you provide, and that is okay. Listen to me. It is okay. Once you accept it, you gain power over it. You stop expecting blood from a stone. You stop looking for validation from a mirror that is cracked. The moment you see them for what they are, a strategic player acting in self-interest, you can stop being emotional. You can start being tactical. You don't have to hate them. Hate is an emotion. Hate binds you to them. Machiavelli didn't hate his enemies. He studied them. He outmaneuvered them. Indifference is the goal. Clinical surgical detachment. They are now a chess piece on your board. A dangerous piece, but a piece nonetheless. And now that we know who they are, what do we do with them? Do we cut them off? Do we ghost them? Do we declare war? No. That is amateur hour. That creates drama. That creates noise. Machiavelli would never recommend making an unnecessary enemy. If you must injure a man, do it in such a way that you do not fear his revenge. Ghosting creates revenge. Confrontation creates revenge. We need a method that is quieter, deadlier. We need the art of the slow fade, the strategy of the open secret. This is where we enter the advanced level of social warfare. This is where you stop being the victim and start being the architect. How do you remove a tumor without killing the patient? Carefully and with precision. If you confront a fake friend, if you scream, "You betrayed me," you hand them a weapon. You give them the narrative. He's crazy. She's paranoid. I was just trying to help, and he attacked me. You look unstable. They look like the victim. You lose. Machiavelli advised, never attempt to win by force what can be won by deception. You don't declare war. You declare peace while you dig the tunnel under their fortress. Here is the protocol for neutralization. Tactic 1. The fog of boredom. Grey rock. The fake friend feeds on two things: adoration or drama. They need your emotional reaction to fuel their power. Starve them. Become the most boring person on earth. When they try to provoke you with a subtle insult, don't get angry, don't explain, just nod. Interesting. Maybe you're right. And look away. No eye contact, no emotional spike. You are a grey rock. They poke you. You don't bleed. They flatter you. You don't smile. This terrifies them, because if they can't trigger you, they can't control you. They will eventually get bored and move on to a new victim. You haven't made an enemy. You've simply become useless to their game. And in the Machiavellian world, being useless to a predator is the ultimate safety. Tactic 2. Strategic proximity. Keep your enemies closer. Why did Machiavelli say this? It's not a cliché. It is surveillance. If you cut them off completely, you lose intel. You don't know what they are saying about you. You don't know their next move. Keep them at arm's length, close enough to see their hands, far enough so the knife can't reach. Maintain the illusion of friendship. Smile, shake hands, go to the lunch. But the dynamic has flipped. You are now the double agent. You feed them misinformation. You tell them plans you don't intend to execute. You tell them worries you don't actually have. See where that information travels. If you tell only the suspect that you're thinking of quitting your job, and 3 days later your boss asks if you're happy, you have your confirmation. You use them as a tracer bullet. This requires emotional discipline. It requires you to look into the face of Judas and break bread, knowing exactly who he is. It is cold, yes, but the alternative is being blind. Tactic 3. The mirror of void. When they try to sabotage you, don't defend. Reflect. If they say, "You look tired, are you sure you can handle this project?" Don't say, "I'm fine, I can handle it." That is defensive. That is weak. Instead, pause. Look at them for 3 seconds, the uncomfortable silence, then ask, "Why would you ask that?" Calmly, curiously. Force them to explain their aggression. "Oh, I care about you. I appreciate the concern. I'm focused." End of conversation. You have turned the spotlight back on them. You have signaled that you see the game. You haven't accused them. You've just shown them that their bullets are bouncing off. A fake friend will panic when they realize you are no longer playing by the script of social politeness. You are playing by the script of reality. Now that you have purged the rot, now that you have identified the parasites and neutralized them, you are left with a void, a space where friends used to be. It feels lonely. Good. Machiavelli spent years in exile, stripped of his position, banned from the courts he loved, and in that silence he wrote, The Prince. In that solitude, he became immortal. Most people fill their lives with noise because they are terrified of the silence. They collect friends like baseball cards. Quantity over quality. They want to be popular. The Machiavellian wants to be effective. You must restructure your understanding of friendship. Stop using that word for everyone. It is a sacred word. Do not cast it before swine. Create a hierarchy. Level 1. The useful allies. These are people you work with, people you trade favors with. There is mutual benefit. Respect them. Treat them well. But do not give them the keys to the castle. Do not tell them your secrets. They are allies as long as your goals align. If the goals shift, they shift. Accept this. Do not cry over it. Level 2. The pleasant acquaintances. These are for leisure, for distraction, the drinking buddy, the neighbor. Enjoy their company, but know their depth. Do not expect them to storm the trenches with you. They are there for the sunny days. When the storm comes, let them seek shelter. Do not blame them for their nature. Level 3. The few, the brotherhood, sisterhood. These are rare. Maybe 2 people in a lifetime. Maybe 1. The person who has nothing to gain from you but stands by you anyway. The person who tells you the ugly truth to your face but defends you behind your back. How do you find them? You test them with time, with adversity. Fortune is the arbiter of one half of our actions, Machiavelli wrote. Adversity is the filter. When you find these people, you protect them with your life. You give them loyalty, because in a world of plastic, gold is heavy. But until you find gold, be comfortable with empty hands. Be comfortable standing alone. It is better to be alone than in bad company. George Washington said it. Machiavelli lived it. Your power does not come from your entourage. It comes from your autonomy. The lion walks alone. The sheep huddle in the flock because they are afraid. Are you afraid, or are you ready to be the king of your own mind? We are reaching the end, and if you have listened this far, you are feeling something shifting, a loss of innocence. You realize that the Disney version of the world, where everyone is nice and justice always wins, is a lie. It is a comforting lie, but it is a cage. Machiavelli is often called evil. Why? Because he told the truth. He tore the mask off human nature and showed us the gears underneath. Self-interest, fear, ambition, greed. Seeing this doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you a safe person. It makes you a dangerous person to abuse. When you expose a fake friend, you are not losing a friend. You are losing an illusion. You are losing a liability. Imagine walking through a minefield blindfolded. That is how you were living. This video took the blindfold off. Yes, the minefield is scary. Yes, seeing the explosives is terrifying. But would you rather be blind? Would you rather step on the mine, smiling? The price of power is the death of naivety. You can no longer drift through life hoping people are good. You must verify. You must observe. You must listen to the rhythm of their actions, not the melody of their words. This is the burden of the architect. You build your life on a foundation of stone, not sand. Stone is hard. Stone is cold. But stone lasts. Fake friends are sand. They shift. They slide. They bury you. Clear the sand. Stand on the stone. But I must leave you with one final uncomfortable thought. We have spent this entire time talking about them. The flatterers, the saboteurs, the liars. But Machiavelli had one more warning. The most dangerous deceiver is not the one across the table. It is the one in the mirror. Men are so simple that a deceiver will never lack victims. Why do you let them in? Why do you fall for the flattery? Because your ego is hungry. Why do you tolerate the disrespect? Because your self-worth is low. Why do you keep the crisis architect around? Because you need to feel like a savior to have value. The fake friend is a parasite. But a parasite cannot attach to a healthy host. They attach to your wounds. If you want to be truly untouchable, if you want to be Machiavellian in the highest sense, you must heal the parts of you that crave their poison. You must kill the need for external validation. If you don't need their praise, the flatterer has no power. If you don't fear their rejection, the saboteur has no leverage. If you are whole, if you are complete, you become immune. You become the glitch in their system. They will try to hook you, and they will slide right off, and they will look at you with confusion, because they cannot manipulate a man who masters himself. This is the ultimate victory, not destroying them, but outgrowing them, leaving them behind in the shallow water while you swim into the deep. The circle is small, the wall is high, the eyes are open. You have the tools now. You know the archetypes, the flatterer, the crisis architect, the whisperer. You know the tests, the good news, the silence, the no. You know the strategy, the grey rock, the mirror. Do not use this knowledge to become a monster. Use it to protect the good that is left in you. Protect your energy for the people who deserve it. Protect your empire for the future you are building. The world is full of wolves in sheep's clothing. Be the lion. Silence is your roar. Observation is your claws. And reality is your kingdom. Welcome to the real world. If this opened your eyes, understand this is only what I can show publicly. There are videos I cannot upload for everyone. There are aspects of dark psychology that I simply cannot discuss publicly on YouTube without being censored or demonetized. The algorithm suppresses the most powerful information. Those exist behind the join button. If you're still here, you're not like the others. Subscribe if you haven't. But if you want what's hidden, click the join button and step into the architect level. You will unlock exclusive, uncensored videos that dive into the deepest parts of the human psyche. Most won't. That's the point.